I don't rank coasters. No top 25, no scores from 1 to 10. Is that legal? Do they kick you out of the roller coaster club for that? I haven't checked. But as long as they don't take away my ibuprofen, I'm good. But I do still track every coaster I ride. I classify, I spreadsheet, I obsess, like a proper roller coaster nerd. Let's talk about my system and why it works for me. This is Grandpa vs. Gravity Tier List Edition. I'm a grandpa who's been riding roller coasters for over 50 years. I have an engineering degree. I know how to nerd out. Sure, we could contemplate how many angels can dance on the zero car of an RMC train and whether RMC or Intamin is a better option for this use case, but that's not what roller coasters are about. Roller coasters are experiences. The best ones pull you out of your head and into the moment. And that is not something you can measure. That's something you feel. And that's why I use a tier list instead of rankings or ratings. I have better things to do than ponder whether a particular roller coaster is my 36th favorite of all time or only my 37th favorite. A tier list is a way to group things by rough quality without pretending there's a precise order. I just stole the idea and applied it to roller coasters. I have 5 tiers, or buckets if you will, to put roller coasters into, ranging from elite to bring in the bulldozers already. It's all based on how the ride feels. Nothing more, nothing less. How's the experience? Did I have fun? How much ibuprofen do I need afterward? That's pretty much it. I do have something I call the one good trick rule. If a coaster has one moment that absolutely delivers, an amazing airtime hill, a perfect launch, something that makes me yell in surprise, I might bump the whole ride up a tier. It's like the band The Knack. Did they do anything besides My Sharona? I have no idea. You probably don't either. But is that song a banger? You betcha. One good trick can be enough. Similarly, a sufficiently bad moment can knock a coaster down. One bad pothole can ruin an otherwise great ride. We've all been there, I'm sure. Let's start at the top. S tier. Why is the top tier called S tier? I don't know. It just is. I didn't argue with the convention. These are the rides I won't shut up about. Ask me how my coaster trip went, and I hope you're sitting down because you're going to hear me go on and on and on about these rides. These are the ones that keep me excited about this, let's be honest, ostensibly meaningless pursuit. These coasters live rent-free in my mind. They're the ones I'll plan a whole trip around, and they're why I keep getting back in line. They don't have to be perfect. They can wear me out a bit. That's allowed, as long as the thrill is worth the recovery time. Take The Voyage, for example. No question, it's S tier. I bought the t-shirt. But I'm going to need a break before I re-ride. And that's fine. The ride far outweighs any toll it takes. About 10% of the coasters I've ridden make it into this category. These are the best of the best. 2 great markers of an S-tier coaster. 1, how excitedly I talk about it. And 2, am I riding it over and over and over, like a preschooler watching Bluey? If so, we're probably in S-tier territory. Case in point, my Wind Chaser video. Here's a clip. That is what I'm talking about. That is the best ride in the park. That was awesome. That is getting lapped today. Yeah. That is a textbook S-tier grandpa reaction right there. If I come off a ride acting like that, it's going in the S tier. Next down the ladder is A tier. These are rides I genuinely enjoy. They're re-rideable, consistently fun, often surprisingly good. They may not haunt my dreams like S-tier coasters do, but if the line's short, you'll find me there for a re-ride. They usually have 1 or 2 standout features: airtime, pacing, intensity, theming, something that makes them truly enjoyable. They may not change my life, but they do make my day. And sometimes, if I'm in the right mood, and if I had a lunch that didn't cause heartburn, an A-tier ride might even flirt with greatness. An example is Thunderbird. It's fun, rewritable, and has no flaws. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I would not change a thing about this. It is just great as is. Comfortable seats, fun ride, definite winner. Or Good Gravy. Not the most thrilling ride out there, but it's not trying to be. It's fun, it hits its mark, and that's enough for A tier. What a fantastic, fun little ride. Just enough thrill to give the little ones a taste of their first roller coaster. I wish they had these things when my kids were little. After A tier, logically, is B tier. B tier rides are solid. Being here is not a knock. That's coming in the final 2 tiers. These are coasters I enjoy, but I don't think much about them afterward. Maybe they have a good moment or two, but nothing that grabs me by the lap bar and yells, "You're gonna remember this." I'm not mad at them. I'll ride them again, especially if it's line short and I'm in that part of the park. But I'm not planning my day around them, and I'm not spam texting family and friends about them. They're like the store brand version of a roller coaster. Generic coaster. Perfectly acceptable, occasionally surprising, but rarely inspiring. Ninja and Gold Rusher at Six Flags Magic Mountain are good examples. They're fine. I enjoy them, but they're not why I go to Magic Mountain. Twisted Colossus is why I go to Magic Mountain. Yep. Sometimes a coaster could end up in B tier because of some flaw holding it back. Take the Raven. It's a fantastic layout, aggressive in all the right ways, and packed with potential. But on my visit, the second half was rough enough to interfere with the fun. It's great in the first half. New gravity rope track, fantastic. But then, it gets a little jackhammery, and I'm old, so that was a bit much. Without that roughness, it would be unquestionably A tier. But with it, unfortunately, it drops to B tier. Over 80% of the coasters I have ridden are in A tier or B tier. These are the center of the bell curve. A above the median, B below it. I said I wasn't going to get mathy, didn't I? Okay, I'll stop there before I get into standard deviations and T-scores and whatever else. Well, next up, surprisingly enough, is C tier. Oh, C tier. These coasters aren't fun. They aren't awful, but they're not fun. They just exist. Once is enough. I've ridden it. I have the credit. Let's move on. And the main reason a coaster lands here, it's painful or unpleasant to ride. Maybe it's rough. Maybe it has awkward transitions. Maybe the restraints do more harm than good. Whatever the reason, you find yourself in the exit wondering whether this whole coaster enthusiast thing is worth it. Or maybe you're just too old and it's time to take up shuffleboard. That's what a C tier coaster does to you. But then you remember the S tier rides. Anyway, a textbook C tier coaster is Viper at Magic Mountain. It's big, it's impressive, it's intense. It looks like it should be S tier. You go up the lift and you're a zillion feet in the air and the jitters are building and you start down the drop. And that's when the fun ends. It's rough, it's janky, the hard over-the-shoulder restraints are playing pinball with your head. And a headache kills any fun I might be having. A headache could even kill the whole day. I know Viper has its fans, but for this grandpa, it's in C tier. With C tier coasters, once is enough. I'm not necessarily mad, that's next. But I didn't have fun. They're the kind of coasters you ride because you feel like you have to, not because you want to. And finally, F tier. Dun dun dun. I skipped D tier. We don't need to overthink the clunkers. One bucket of dumpster fires is enough. These are the worst of the worst. Usually, I say my favorite roller coaster is the one I'm on. That offer does not apply here. And so far, I have only bestowed this honor 2 times. Both are in California, and both of them earned it. First, the Grizzly at California's Great America. A stinking dung heap of wood and steel with no redeeming value whatsoever. It's boring, it's forceless, it's rough, and it has uncomfortable trains. I like to say, not even RMC could save this stinker. They could, of course. They'd just tear it down and use the footprint to build something great. But why let reality interfere with a good joke? Second, Jaguar at Knott's Berry Farm. Whoa, whoa, Grandpa, you're hating on a family coaster? Yes, I am. It's boring, it's rough, and I was mad that I wasted my time riding it. I could have used that time for another ride on Ghost Rider, or Silver Bullet, or Accelerator. So yeah, F tier. Take Jaguar to the scrapyard where it belongs. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. So that's my tier list system. Completely subjective, mildly judgmental, and proudly based on vibes over data. At the end of the day, it boils down to how the good vibes weigh against the need for ibuprofen. And that's why I rate on those factors when I rate a roller coaster. If I'm giddy, S tier. If I enjoyed it, A tier. If it was pleasant, B tier. If it's a one and done, C tier. And if it's boring and painful, if the space would be better used by a food stand that only sells old gas station hot dogs and flat soda, flat, warm Shasta soda? Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go plan my next trip. For science. Until then, remember, gravity keeps trying to bring me down, but I'm not falling.